Good evening, all. Ira Epstein with your SPDR ETF stock market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for the evening of Wednesday, the 13th of August, 2025, and what an interesting day. Another day of the stock indices all to the upside. Down in NVIDIA a little bit today. Oil prices still coming down in USO. Netflix got all the way up to 1237 and then came cratering back down. Guess which number it went up to? You hit it, the upper Bollinger Band, and it just stopped like a rocket. What happened basically there, and I was telling my traders this morning when we were doing the morning paid subscriber video to look for that, and it came out pretty much that way. Uranium's still just sitting at $40. It's impressive that it's able to just stay now here, building a higher base to, I think, work from. AMC not giving up from yesterday's game when we saw the chairman explain the market. Tesla did give back a little bit today. Boeing was up again, coming up now to the 235.60 level. Uber backed off. SIL came back, and SLV is also acting pretty good right now. So I'm watching what those two are doing. In terms of news, let's go to a couple of things. First, weekly jobless claims. That's the first nail in the coffin. I feel like I'm a carpenter for tomorrow. So we'll see what they do. They're expecting a very mild increase of a couple of thousand jobs. PPI, that's going to be the big report of the morning, and people will dive into it to see what inflation is doing and where it's doing it. They're expecting the final demand of it up 0.2% on the month over month, and the core PPI up 0.3. So you can't tell me that inflation is down. It isn't. And one of the big arguments you've got to make here on inflation is, has the Fed given up on the target of their 2%? If you start cutting rates, I think they have. I don't see how you can make that argument any other way, because you can't tell me that tariffs are going to cause deflation. They don't cause deflation. They'll raise prices, and other analysts are starting to come around. In fact, I'm talking Fed people starting to say they're questioning the idea. Maybe Kashari's got it right. You get a little bit now, and it just keeps marching through the year as you're getting through the inventories that had been built up, and some companies eating part of that increase in tariffs. But you can't count on them to do that indefinitely. We're going to get the natural gas report coming out also at 9:30. Now, that should be a help to the president. This weather hasn't been super hot. Instead of getting now draw upon draw, you're starting to build earlier than you normally do. That's taken that price down. Has anybody out there looked at the price of gasoline, for example? You realize you're about in a 6% range for the month. You haven't gone anywhere. Traditionally, at this time of the year, you get gasoline going up double digits. It's not happening. So these are all things fitting in absolutely perfect for the president. What's it going to mean? Well, that'll be the interesting thing. Now, I did a report today, another one. So now it's the special currency report, and you know what I did it on. It's got to be the U.S. dollar, because it's what's going to be in play now, and it starts right again tomorrow as traders will start to analyze with the CPI, the PPI, what it is. I'm going to give you a trend and chart analysis on daily, weekly charts on the futures, the dollar index, and UUP, so you can really meld the two together in a way. You're going to get video commentary. We're going to explain what I am seeing in the dollar and the factors affecting it right now. Then we'll get to the seasonal charts from Season X. We'll look at the 5, the 15, the 25 year. We'll look at the 5 and 15 year also from the more research, and then the all-important price counts. What are the new price counts in the dollar? You put that together with where you're at, and there's a story to be had here. And if you don't think this is going to impact world events, boy, are you wrong. It's time sensitive. I only keep them up for 3 business days. So you can move your cursor to the top here to view the report. It'll take you there. Or go to iraepstein.com. You'll see the report on the top left. Got it? If you have any questions, you can always call us. All right. So let's go to the chart action and see what we've got now that we've talked a little bit. In Excelon, you had a reaction down yesterday. In fact, for the past 3 days. And now you got a gap, well, not a gap, a rally back filling a little bit of a gap that was in the chart, as you can see. That's what I meant to say. You have a higher high and lower low. So you have a market that's distributing itself back and forth right now. The battleground has been the 100-day average in green. The red is the 18-day average. Tell me you didn't just pull back there and so far hold it. Now you get bearish on this if you get back under now 44.06, and as long as you hold here, you're trying to get a pattern that might turn bullish. You don't have it right now. Resistance is 45.77. The bias is up since you're staying over the 18-day average of closes. And momentum, well, momentum is still in overbought territory, giving the market a headache as I see it. In Netflix, I mean, classic what I teach in my charting course. And by the way, if you go to our website, I lowered the price of the charting course going into September from $600 on the full course to $250. You get everything that I have, free access for 30 days to all my research, the charting software you're seeing here, and I think there's 45 video chapters. It's quite a good deal for you. Wanted to get something going for the as we get into the fall season. Lower low, higher high. I could make an argument you could back off to the 1185 area easily. In Dash, the market tried to rally, failed. So now you got lower highs. Now you're coming into the lower lows, right into the 18-day average. This is where the market's got to prove itself. But guess what's going on? You're going to see market upon market that had been leading the way up on these charts. And now they're starting to give up the ground as it's the small caps that are getting bought, names you don't even know a lot of them. And people, what they're doing is they're dusting things off going, well, that hasn't moved. I want to own that. Everything else is going up. That's where you're at. Look at how you backed off from Google hitting the past couple of days, the upper band. You are embedded. It's still overall bullish, but it's like hitting a brick wall when you hit those Bollinger Bands. In Starbucks, you've gotten back over the 18-day average. You're acting okay. I don't know that it's a running market. If you're going to nibble, I think traders will do it in the 92.25 area, but you certainly don't want to get back under, let's call it the 88.80 level. That could be a problem for the market. And another leader of the pack has been Robinhood. Today, it got hit for 5%, and I'm explaining what I'm seeing. I think traders are taking money off at the Bollinger Band and rolling into other parts of the market. I think it's just self-feeding. I don't expect Tesla to be able to run away from that problem. I expect it right here to have its share of them at the upper Bollinger Band. Joby's already done it. Here's a market that had that run, and now it's going into a consolidation mode, void of a trend at this point. In the industrials, I wanted to see the rollover into the industrials. Tomorrow's the key day. The market set itself back up bullish going into it. It needs the data to keep it going. If it does, then I think the 155 area is a zone the market can get up to about $3 higher than where you're at now. Energies are still not in the bull mode. The big battle's the 100-day average. Do you see how often it's just staying at it? That's where you're fighting. If the market can lift itself up tomorrow, you'll have an oversold market that begins a correction territory, should easily get to the 18-day average based on that. Gold is in no man's land. This is just what my report was saying. It's done what I want. Now the question is, can it make one more break or not to get down to the 302 area and come alive from there? Silver is where the rotation of money went into today. You have the higher lows, higher highs. It's got to prove it can run. Momentum's turned up. If so, why not get up to the upper Bollinger Band? So you've got to use some caution here, but it's looking more bullish than bearish. And copper, right up to that band. So the copper miners, and I've said this to you, how could they not be making money in this type of market? I mean, I think it's hand over fist. There's some more copper coming onto the market, the ore concentrate out of Freeport right now, which will help maybe curb prices a little bit because it's been on a tear. In the BND market, is this where the market's going to run for the upper Bollinger Band and say, that's it, baby. We've seen the low and the high in interest rates, and this market wants to tear to the upside. Tomorrow's super important. Is the dollar going to be able to follow through to the downside? Could it be going back to these lows? Or does the report come out and give a bid where if you get over 27.56, maybe that was the correction and that was it in the dollar? FXE, if the dollar lets go, could this market be headed to the upper Bollinger Band? You want to watch the 106.94 area. You don't want to get under that tomorrow. So tomorrow is the day that I'd have a good night's sleep tonight for. There's going to be action galore in the market off these reports. I think it's a super important day. Be certain to look at my dollar report. I think it'll give you some guidance through this. I'm Ira Epstein. Watch the other videos tonight. I'll catch up with you first thing in the morning flash video. By then, we'll have the PPI and the jobless numbers. Let's see what they show us. I'm Ira. Have a great evening.